Hi, welcome to Meta Perfume. I'm Emily, here with Twixie. She's in this chair, as usual. And I have been trying to get through my perfume collection. I have too many perfumes, you guys. I just have so many perfumes. I'm not a big declutterer, and I don't like selling things, so I just accumulated a lot of stuff. And I did these 3 houses in detailed review of each one by one. So most of these that I'm going to cover today, my Pacifica Collection, my Armaf Collection, and my Garland Collection, I have already covered almost all of them with the exception of a couple new Guerlains, I think. So I'm going to make this, because there's so many, I'm going to make this kind of brief, covering each of them. And if you want to know more, you can always go back to the individual review of that particular fragrance. I'm also going to kind of highlight my favorites and least favorites from the sets. So yeah, let me just get started, and I'm going to try to keep this from being ridiculously long. Okay, so first, the Moon Moods collection by Pacifica. I will start with, I had all of these. I gave them one of them away, and I think they released a new one, maybe called Neon Moon, that I haven't tried. But this Dream Moon, to my nose, is a sort of a knockoff of like Cloud by Ariana Grande or Baccarat Rouge by 40. Similar. Yeah, Dream Moon. They say it's patchouli, sandalwood, and pink rose. To me, it sounds like Cloud. Cherry Moon is cherry blossom and sugar, and it's definitely a cherry fragrance. I wore this the other night, and I did get some of that like cat pee smell, and I had to layer it with, I layered it with my new Blissful Fantasy by Britney Spears, and it made it nice, so it wasn't too bad. But this is one I'm gonna have a little trouble working through because of that. Probably my least favorite in the Moon Moods selection, and I think they might have actually discontinued it. So what it is, Blue Moon and the Moon Moods is my favorite. This is a very unique, interesting, it says water or lavender and currant fragrance, but it's really like a milk, like a creamy currant kind of fragrance. Yeah, it's definitely unusual, definitely unique, kind of interesting. It's good. Currant and Cream Blue Moon by Pacifica. And then last of the Moon Moods is Flower Moon, which is a very peachy fragrance. Jasmine, peach, and vanilla, they say, are the main notes. And it's definitely a peach heavy fragrance. If you like peach, it's maybe a little bit synthetic smelling. But you know, all fruit, I think, not all fruit, but most fruit that's not like a citrus is a synthetic component. So this one, if you like a peach note, it's major peach. And then my the rest of my Pacificas, in order from probably my least favorite to the most. My least favorite of the ones I still have, I gave 2 of them to my little nieces. This is the Kindred Spirit. This is kind of like a sawdust rose smell fragrance. It's featuring Palo Santo. I like Pacifica because they're a very ethical company out of Oregon, and they are vegan products, which is nice. I like vegan forward. Yeah, don't exploit the animals. It's good. Next is my High Vibration, which I've said this, it smells like a candy, like a nostalgic vintage candy called Bottle Caps to me. It has a little bit of a cola flavor, although the main notes they say are sandalwood and jasmine. And this is nice. It's got pretty decent longevity. I throw it on sometimes and I enjoy it. I really, really like the Sage Me. I think this is a very unique sage heavy fragrance that's very like fresh air, somewhat unisex, but it definitely, to me, smells like you're driving through a forested mountainside, and the windows are down, and it just smells really fresh and lovely. But it doesn't last super long. I'd say it's like a 2-hour 2.5 hour longevity probably. So Sage Me, Pacifica. And then last I have my Tomboy Vibes. I wear this one the most, I think, of all of the this line. And this is the Orange Flower and Cannabis heavy fragrance. It does not smell like a weed that's burned or anything like that. It's a little bit like fresher than that. It's a little more like adjacent to bergamot, I guess you'd say, like a little bit herbaceous, uplifting sort of fragrance. It's definitely unisex vibe, the most unisex of all of these. So Tomboy Vibes by Pacifica, I do like the best. These two are my favorites of the collection. I have from Pacifica, Sage Me, and my least favorites are probably the Flower Moon and the Cherry Moon. These two. The rest are all right. So that's all of the Pacifica that I have. Now I will do my Armaf collection. And I have 5 of the niche line Armaf. This is the Peridot, and this is a floral with patchouli. So it's a little it's a white floral musky. It's pleasant. I don't wear it very much, but you know, when it cools down a bit, I think I would pull it out and play with it. Maybe. It's a nice white floral Peridot. And then the pink coral is, I think, a kind of stripped down version of the Club de Nuit. And it's also fairly patchouli heavy. I'd say this is definitely a cool weather fragrance because of how rich it is. You could definitely overspray this if it was too warm. So I would reach for this more in the cool weather. This is one of my favorites, but it might not be for everybody. You have to really like patchouli because there's a lot of that. This is Pink Coral by Armaf, the niche line. Then I have Oud from the niche line. This is more of like a warm, spicy, a little bit unisex, a little bit leathery, spicy, somewhat more masculine of the niche line, I guess, but definitely unisex, leaning slightly feminine, just slightly. And that is Oud by Armaf. And then I have the Peridot, which is definitely a unisex, leaning masculine fragrance, very fresh, very clean smelling. It's like aquatic, watery. This is good. Sapphire. It does remind me a bit of the Milestone, the Club de Nuit Milestone as well. So that is Sapphire niche collection by Armaf. And my favorite of the niche collection for sure is the Ruby Red. See, this has got the most use. This to me is a knockoff. And I don't remember offhand what all these are supposedly dupes for, but I honestly think that I don't know. I like Armaf so much because I feel like a lot of times they are inspired by a popular fragrance and then they kind of improve upon it. And this is what I feel about this Ruby Red, is that they took like the one by Dolce & Gabbana and they made it even better. To me, this smells like powdered Fruit Loops a little bit. Powdery, fruity, yummy. That is Ruby Red. All of those have their own little collection video and individual videos too. And then Magnificent, to me, it reminds me of Giorgio Armani C, but a little bit more pink pepper heavy. It's definitely a cool weather fragrance. Got rose. It's nice. Not one I reach for, probably one of my least favorite Armafs in my collection. I have this new Femme Eau De Parfum. I'm gonna say this is like a youthful, fruity, plum heavy, slightly floral, but more heavy on the fruit. Kind of a low longevity, give it like 3 hours probably. It lasts on the skin, but if you like a plum note, it's nice, it's fruity, it's light, it's inexpensive. All the Armafs are inexpensive, which is nice. Not high price points. This was one of the new Armafs that I picked up for the range videos that I was doing, and this is a really nice pineapple forward. Yeah, it's very sweet, summery. I would do it summer night because it does have like it has patchouli in it as well. A lot of the Armaf have patchouli, but it's not usually the most prominent note. It's well blended in the base. Nice. Pineapple is yummy. That is Souffle Perfume by Armaf. I like that one. Then I have the, make sure which ones I'm covering here. So the Club de Nuit line, I mentioned the Club de Nuit for women, which is a dupe of Coco Mademoiselle. It's just a lovely rose with fruit in the top. Also still a little patchouli in the base, a little musky. And this I would spray on my pillow at night for a long time, so it's got a decent dent in it. It's one of my first Armafs. Really enjoy Club de Nuit pour Femme, or Club de Nuit Woman, sorry. Then we have the Club de Nuit Milestone, which was a little similar to the Peridot I mentioned, a unisex fragrance. Nice and light. Definitely unisex leaning masculine, but like a nice fresh, like gym, good for the gym kind of fragrance. That is Club de Nuit Milestone. Eau de Parfum. And then I have the Club de Nuit Intense, very different from any of the other Club de Nuits. Club de Nuits are not like a regular Club de Nuit and then flankers of it. They're all very different and dupes for different things. I believe this is dupe of Tom Ford Noir de Noir. It's a rich kind of, it's got some rose in it, but it's definitely complex fragrance, a little bit dark, a little bit chocolatey almost, or cocoa maybe. Club de Nuit Intense for women. I do like this one quite a bit. All right, I think I got down to my last two Armafs. We are speeding through. This is the Italiano Vivo. This is a raspberry musk fragrance. It's like not a sweet raspberry, but like a real raspberry. Like if you had a pint of raspberries that were fragrant, it kind of smells like this. Not a sugary like raspberry jam, but and more. So if I think something would do well with raspberry added, or if I have something that has a little raspberry and I think it should come out, I might layer this on top of it. This is the Italiano Vivo. And then my favorite Armaf is the Italiano Donna. And this is got tonka and sandalwood, orange blossom. It's really cozy smelling. I like to wear this in the cool weather. It's got really good longevity. It's definitely, yeah, a favorite. I've already gone through like the travel size of this and repurchased this, so this comes out in the fall for me. But I think you can wear it all year round. Just do a light spray in the summertime. That is Italiano Donna by Armaf. Delish. So I think that does it for all. Oh no, I have two more Armafs. This line, the Mignon line, there are two, Mignon Red and Mignon Black. And I would recommend the Mignon Black. I think it's interesting. It has a little bit of like a dusty kind of dry down, which I didn't really notice until recently, but the top is really lovely and it's a very unique fragrance. the floral with that sort of dusty dry down. I'm not sure what the main note is in it. I'll put the notes up here for this one just because I really don't remember. But I like this one a lot. This is also a new one from my collection. The Armaf Red, however, I don't think much of this one. Or the Mignon Red, I guess it is. It is a floral, a little bit nondescript, pretty low longevity. It's not a bad fragrance. It doesn't smell unpleasant. It just isn't really remarkable or unique. And the longevity isn't that good. So there's not a whole lot to attract me to this one. Mignon Red, I would definitely go for the black first. That is all my Armafs. Now onto my Garland collection. Now I believe all of those Armafs, I have a singular review of each of them. So if you wanted to check out those reviews, I just go to my channel. I don't think I'm gonna link every single one, but the Armafs, I think there are a couple new ones that I haven't, or I'm sorry, the Guerlains are a couple new ones that I haven't covered yet. So I'll do those a little bit more in depth. So I'll get started with my Prairieland, my Armaf. I bought a lot of these like vintage Armafs, or I keep saying that, Guerlains. These vintage Guerlains that have like, they were released early in the last century or in like the middle of the last century. And so they have this sort of nostalgic quality. When you smell them, you're like, at least I felt like I've smelled them in the past. You know, maybe when I was a kid. It's an interesting experience. So I keep these as much for historical reasons, and we don't wear them as often. The Prairieland is like a violet, purple flowers, very light, means after the rain, and it does kind of have that vibe of like a very fresh, rain-soaked, violet-filled meadow in the morning. Not super feminine. I don't think purple flowers are really all that sweet, so it's got that kind of purple flower lightness to it. And I'll go with these vintage ones. This, Vol de Nuit, it's kind of like woody. It's got a sort of, it smells so, I've sprayed a bunch of things on my hand now, so they're like layering. I can't smell, it smells good with whatever I layered it with. Just that Mignon Red, that's an idea. I could layer this with the Mignon Red. All right, I'll spray here. Yeah, it's got like a bergamot, like kind of a sharp top that dries down into a woody base. This is a classic Guerlain fragrance, Vol de Nuit. And then, let's see, I have, it's over here. Go make sure I get through all of them. Oh, this Eau de Guerlain is fairly new as well. It is a lemony fragrance, and it smells to me like a lemon pledge cleaner. So I kind of forget about it, honestly. It's one of those that I'll probably put by my desk in the mornings and just kind of spray it in the morning to start working through it. But that is Eau de Guerlain by Guerlain, unisex, lemon, heavy, light, fresh, lemon pledge, you said. And then I've got two, well, the other very vintage Guerlains that I have. I've got both the Mitsuoko Edt and the Mitsuoko EDP, and these are definitely the same fragrance with just a little bit more concentration, a little bit more ambery, I think, on this one, a little bit more like bergamot heavy with this one. So if you like Mitsuoko, I would go for the EDT in the daytime and then the EDP at night, or in warmer weather and cooler weather, the EDP. But this is like very renowned, popular for decades fragrance, very interesting kind of history. You can see my Mitsuoko review on this. And this is a really nice, complex Chypre fragrance. And both of these are good. EDT and EDP. And of course, I just have one of the, Guerlain makes so many fragrances. This is the Le Petite Robe Noir. I have the EDP of Le Petite Robe Noir, and this is a cherry, kind of a sour cherry. It's got a little bit of a medicinal quality to it. I have smelled both the EDP and the EDT, and I bought the EDP, but I wish I had bought the EDT. I feel like I would get more use out of it. This is something to me that is pleasant enough to wear, but I think I've said this, I would wear it if I was trying not to get attention, or not to be inviting, to be like a little bit standoffish. I would put this on because it does, I think, have a little bit sharp cherry medicinal kind of thing happening. It's all right. A Petite Robe Noir EDP. And then I've got a couple of the Aqua Allegoria fragrances by Guerlain. My favorite of those is the Tea Azzurra, which is a chamomile heavy fragrance. It's the only fragrance I have that has chamomile in it. So I like that about it. It's very calming, light fragrance. I think I could wear this in the daytime. Chamomile is like a calming, kind of sleep promoting essential oil or flower. Yeah, and this has that nice kind of light, soothing quality to it. So Tea Azzurra by Aqua Allegoria, enjoy that. Now my least favorite, this is probably my least favorite Guerlain altogether, is my Limon Verde. I think it's just too, it smells a little fishy to me. Even though I love lime, it doesn't smell as bad as I think of it. I don't want to spray it. I'll spray it like this. Yeah, I guess it doesn't smell as bad as I imagine it smelling. I think I could probably find a layering combination with this that I would enjoy it with. I just haven't worked with it in a while. But it is one of my least favorite because there was some like quality to it that is a little bit off-putting to me. But I think with maybe a more feminine fragrance layered in, I would enjoy it more. So I might start to experiment with this a little bit now that the weather is warm enough for it. I'll give it another shot. We'll see. Or I might gift it eventually. Okay, just a few more Guerlains to go. And I don't want to forget these two. I'll end with my newest one that I definitely don't have another video on, but of the other ones I have the Insolence, which is I think a kind of sister scent to the Prairieland, just a little bit more feminine, it's a little bit sweeter. It's definitely got that purple flower forward, interesting, definitely violet. Heliotrope, I think. It is very unique. It is. I haven't worn it in a while, but I do enjoy it. Insolence by Guerlain. All of these have their own little videos. Check those out if you want. This is the Shalimar Souffle Eau De Parfum. This is my only Shalimar, but I do enjoy this a lot. This is like a lemon vanilla type fragrance, very light, interesting, cool. Yeah, I enjoy this a lot. The Shalimar Souffle de Parfum by Guerlain. Very nice. Then I picked up the new Samsara, just a little bottle of this. This I also really enjoy. It's sandalwood, but tonka, I think, in the base. This is a little bit more complex, Samsara. I'll put the notes up here because I can't remember most of them, but I do know that I also, I was gonna save this for last. Okay, I have a new version of Samsara I'm going to cover at the end, but I've got a couple more other Guerlain. I have the super popular Mon Guerlain, the ADP, lavender, but very feminine kind of use of it. This is a like really well-loved fragrance. Jeremy Fragrance turned me onto this thing. It smells like a wife. And I get it. It's classy. Yummy. Mon Guerlain. And then I also have the Bloom of Rose. Mon Guerlain Bloom of Rose, which is a lighter, more rose heavy, less lavender forward version. To me this is very springy and it is very lovely. Yeah, I like that one. Mon Guerlain Bloom of Rose. And then lastly, I have the version of Samsara. I just picked this up in San Diego. I don't know if it's widely available. It might not be. I got it at like a physical shop that had a lot of older perfumes in it. So I don't know how easy it is to get, but this is a really nice, interesting kind of stripped down version of the Samsara. The other Samsara that I have, it has narcissus. It's got bergamot, narcissus, mint, which I love, a mint note in fragrance, and something else. I don't remember, maybe jasmine. But I get a lot of the mint, and after the bergamot, I'm like, when it first comes out, I get a lot of the bergamot, and I don't like that as much, but it doesn't last very long. It changes within like 15 minutes, and that bergamot kind of wears away, and then the mint comes out, and the narcissus. It's just a very unique and fresh fragrance I enjoy. It's called the Eau de Toilette Un Air de Samsara by Guerlain. So that's it. If you want more info, just look at the channel and search for the name of the fragrance, one of them that I mentioned, and I have a full review, more in depth of it. But for time's sake, I just wanted to kind of flow through these and get this out of the way because these have been a lot. I'm gonna go back to doing like individual one-off reviews, maybe in my Britney Spears collection. I'm not sure. If you have a request, let me know. I might do a top 10 summer, even though summer's almost over, but I could do summer and fall. Anyway, I will come back and be posting more often now that I'm through these big videos. So thank you for tuning in. Please give us a subscribe if you haven't, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye-bye.